everybody. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. This is a special lyric award ceremony because this is the inaugural kindergarten through second grade ceremony. But I want to give you a little bit of background real quick. My name is Megan Thomas. I'm the Children's Area Consultant for the Louisiana Book Festival. And before that, I was the Youth Consultant for the State Library. So when I came into the library, I wanted to introduce a K through 2 program for the Louisiana Readers Choice Awards. We had so many littles who loved to read, and we always were having teachers and librarians say, they want to vote, they want to vote. And Monica, I'm sorry, but there was a book that came out, and it was called Eyes That Kiss in the Corners. Have you read that one? And my coworker, Jamie Aber, and I were like, we have to do K through 2 so Eyes That Kiss in the Corner can be voted on. If y'all haven't read it yet, it is beautiful. You've read it, Monica. It's gorgeous, beautiful book. Well, we started getting all the nominations in and started getting all the books. And we read this one book called Are You a Cheeseburger? And we were like, you know, this doesn't really have the same beautiful message that Eyes That Kiss in the Corner do. And then we read it. We both wept. And we realized it had the same beautiful message of friendship and love and acceptance and tolerance, just with a trash panda and a seed who glows in the dark. So what does that mean? So we were like, let's bring it to the table. We brought it to the table. Everybody else in the committee loved it. Do I have any K through 2 committee members who were in here or on that committee that year? Okay, awesome. We have librarians throughout the state roll on and off every year. Everybody loved it. It was one of the first ones to make the final list. We were super excited, super cute. Everybody else said, oh, I cried. It was beautiful. The flower part made me cry. I don't know what it is. And then it's won overwhelmingly, about 80% of the vote. We had an enormous amount of kindergarten through second graders participate. We had schools all over the state contact us and say, our kids were so excited. They loved the cheeseburger book. They loved the little butt. They loved the book so much. And we were super excited that Monica won. So I am really excited today to present to you, an award. Do you want to come on up, Monica? And we had people who were telling us that they had had kiddos who had never picked up a book want to check that one out from their library, especially our school teachers, because it was just so fun, it was so accessible. And so in a state where early childhood literacy is a really critical issue in the state, to know that we have kids who have never picked up a book, picking up your book, and it making an impact, I'm very honored to give you this award, Monica, for the 23-24 Lyric Award.
Oh my gosh, thank you. I forgot there would be an actual award involved because the whole thing has already been so special. Yes. And I am a little emotional.
Oh, that's
terrible
fine.
Timing. I'm going to get it together.
So, I'll let you get it together, and I'll just tell you, Lyric is the Louisiana Readers Choice Awards. It was started in 1999, and what it is now 4 committees of 25 librarians, school and public librarians throughout the state. We read anywhere from 600 to 1,000 books a year, and we have 2 meetings a year, and we talk books. Angela Germany was my predecessor, and she really was the person who took the program and just ran with it, and it's grown to what it was. We had a really big dip in COVID, of course, and y'all, we have posted higher numbers this year than we've posted since our previous COVID years. It's making a comeback. We're really excited, and Monica, I'm really excited that you're a part of this return to normal and return to literature. So I'm going to hand it over to you. Again, if you guys would welcome, join me in welcoming Monica to the stand.
Can I keep the box too? Okay, great. Oh, wow. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here. Let me start by saying thank you to the Louisiana Book Festival for bringing me out here all the way from Canada. I have been amazed to see 24 hours of the city, and it's just been so meaningful, and I'm absolutely thrilled to be with you, and so grateful that Are You a Cheeseburger was recognized in this way by the young readers themselves of the state. I have won very few awards, not to brag, But the ones that are my favorites are the ones that are voted on by the readers themselves. So thank you so much. You make my job so magical. And speaking of my job, I'm especially grateful because authors don't often get asked to go into public and speak to people and meet readers. It's mostly a lot of sitting alone in my office in front of my computer in silence for hours. And frankly, as a mom of 2 small children, I don't get many opportunities to talk uninterrupted ever. So I'm drunk with power. Join me as I try and remember what it's like to string together a coherent thought. But as you just heard, my name is Monica Arnaldo, and I've been an author and an illustrator for more than 10 years now, and I've been an artist since forever. That's me in the top corner in a little bucket in a table doing some important foam roller art. One of the most special parts of my job is going into classrooms, and I'll do art activities with the kids, and at the beginning I'll always ask if there are any artists in the room. Let me do that now. Are there any artists here? Without fail, I see you. I would say between kindergarten and grade 2, every kid knows this about themselves. Those hands go up. And then somewhere around grade 3, they start to dwindle, so something to investigate. But I was an artist at those ages, and it was fostered in me, and I kept going. But here's some of my early work. And this is the stuff I was doing in college. I experimented with digital stuff, painting, all sorts of different narrative illustration styles. And now I make picture books for a living. So there's Are You a Cheeseburger? And the year before that, I did Time for Bed Story. And the year after Cheeseburger, I did Mr. S, which some of you might know because it's a very back-to-school book. Yes?
Mr. S is on the nomination list for this year because it's amazing.
Yeah, let's take it twice. And then just this past summer, I did the Museum of Very Bad Smells, which is really different. It's a scratch and sniff, interactive sensory experience. I think you can guess the smells. And actually, if you're interested, in a couple hours, I'm doing an event for that too. That might be fun for the littles and traumatizing for the parents. My dedication in that book is an apology to all parents. Now, authors, like parents, are not supposed to have favorites, but we do. Just kidding, those are my children and I love them very much. But Are You a Cheeseburger is a very special book to me because it's the book that changed my life. So if you'll indulge me, I'd like to tell you a little story about how it got made. So it was 2017, which is a couple election cycles ago, sorry to say. I had just had my first child, my daughter Beatrice, and I was working on my 6th picture book, which you saw, the Time for Bed Story, which is a story about a bed that's tired of being mistreated by its kid and contains the sentence, I know you hate bedtime, but listen, you're not so great either. So I was working through some new mom stuff. And I was seriously doubting if the career choice of author-illustrator was going to make sense for our new family going forward. I think most people in publishing would tell you it can be a rough business. It's a bit up and down, and it's not always as predictable as I or the bank might like it to be. And especially Canadian publishing, it's a smaller community. So I told my husband, I'll just write one more and try and get an agent, and who knows, maybe an American publisher, the promised land, and let's just give this thing one last try before I move on to something sensible. This is me at a sensible job. So while trying to come up with this one last try story, I happened to be visiting my parents' house. My parents live in a part of Canada, admittedly, like most of Canada, that is overrun with raccoons. So in this particular occasion, the sort of drama that my father has been through with his raccoons is generational on the raccoon side. And the latest ordeal was that they had torn up the front lawn looking for food or grubs or something. And I thought to myself, wouldn't it be funny if they thought they were gardening? And I didn't share that thought with my dad because he would not have thought it was funny. But it did make me think of some other questions, such as, do raccoons get lonely? Sometimes. How do seeds feel about being planted? It has its ups and downs. And of course, most importantly, can you grow a cheeseburger? The jury's still out. So I went home and sat down to try and answer these questions, and the result was, are you a cheeseburger? And along the way, of course, as Megan mentioned, some stuff came out about dealing with impossible expectations, embracing your most authentic self, and of course, the nature of friendship. But mostly it was about the cheeseburger thing. So I can share with you here the real actual earliest first version of that story, which was called, stunningly, Title. And I got to that later. So initially it was a pretty straightforward story about a raccoon that was sick of eating rotten food and finds a regular seed in the trash and thinks, oh, something fresh to eat. Plants it and is super disappointed when it's a flower rather than food. But then the flower draws like bees and like other animals, and so he finds friendship and community. It was very heartwarming. It was very STEM focused. There was like labels pointing out parts of the plant. That changed very much so. And it was nice, but it wasn't really hooking me in, and it didn't feel like a real one last try story yet. And so then what unlocked it for me is when I thought, what does the seed think about all of this? And then this is the version that I pitched to agents, and it was called Grub and Seed. And so I decided to drill down onto the friendship thing that develops between just these two, and that I found made it much more special and kind of opened the whole story up. So I submitted it to a literary agent, and I thought, perfect. I gave it one last shot, and now it's out of my hands. Time to move on. But then I heard back, and I signed with an awesome literary agent for the first time, which made a huge difference. If anyone is wondering, don't just get someone to help you. And she said, I'll take it from here, and submitted to a bunch of American publishers, and I thought, now I can take a step back. Now it's out of my hands. Time to move on. But then it sold, and to a fancy American publisher like I wanted, and they said, we'll take it from here. And then it published, and readers like the young readers here today found it, in large part thanks to organizations like this one and festivals like this one. And for the first time in my career, I got fan mail. Some of it even threatening fan mail with really intense expectations about what should happen in the next one. Demanding fans. I got fan art, which I would like to take a moment to highlight with you now, some of my favorites. That is a half pizza plant, which is an incredible value. That is an aggressive hot dog plant over there on the bottom right, bottom left. You can't see it, you can come look. There's an incredible jawline on the raccoon on the right corner. And on the top left, this is a niche Canadian thing, but that is a beaver tail, a disgusting treat that we enjoy in Canada, which this child has decided could also grow from a seed. Okay, last one's seed. If seed grew into a pizza plant, is like a halo of pizza slices around his head. Incredible, giant ice cream at the bottom. This is one of the best parts of my job now. I also got fan cakes. Some people started making birthday cakes. There's a seed cupcake. Yeah, amazing. And crafts. And in a full circle moment, I got to start visiting schools like my daughter's school, and got to present there. And made a giant grub statue as well to bring with me. And I got things like requests to be invited to festivals like these ones. And somehow I found myself in a brand new phase of my career. And that is how my One Last Try story became the book that changed my life. Thank you so much.
Monica's interested in taking questions, so if you guys have any questions or want to come up and come chit-chat with Monica. Now's the time.
If any children have any demands, I know you always do.
I think we have one question up in the front.
Yes, what is your question?
In the story of Mr. S, what is the sandwich's actual name?
I suspected I would get this question. This is what happens if you have a cliffhanger in a picture book. They hold you to it. A lot of the most threatening fan mail I have received has been about this very question. This is being recorded, so I will tell you later. If you ask me after, in about 5 minutes, I promise I will tell you. Although I will say publicly that I am taking actively reader suggestions. I knew right away that kids would be better at coming up with something funnier than me, so if you send me your suggestions, I'm compiling a really hilarious list so far. Some top ones don't even begin with the letter S, which I love. And yeah, one was Mr. Sexy Sandwich. I got that one live from a student. This is why you don't commit to writing it down, because they're going to have better ideas. So if you have suggestions, I'll also take those, but I'll also tell you what I refer to Mr. S as in my mind privately. Okay, any other questions? Yes? I think you can. I think at the book tent there are some available, yes. And I'm also there to sign them if you would like me to write something silly in it or do a drawing for you.
And Monica will be presenting the Museum of Very Bad Smells at 2:15 in Children's Tent 1. We'll see you running around, so if you get lost, come find me, I'll help you.
You'll smell us, yeah.
And if you would like to, oh, yes.
Yes.
Do you like show early drafts of your books to your kids, or are they part of the writing process?
My children are some of the harshest critics around. I try at all costs not to share any new ideas. You gotta preserve some excitement for the story before they crush. No, that's not true. I do share some when I get like the initial premise. I'll see if it gets a laugh or an interested look. My youngest is a little more receptive than my 7-year-old who you saw. She's a real harsh critic. But what's fun as well about having kids and having this job is that in Mr. S in particular, all of the like kids art that's in the classroom scenes, that's my kids' art. And they're like scared and submitted. Yeah.
So you're paying them royalties for that, right?
Yeah, they're going to be tied up. And also some of the characters in that book, because there's a whole classroom cast, and one of them, the one that's loudly singing, is my daughter. It's accurate, yes. Oh, any other questions? Okay, great. I hope to see you later on at the tent, but thank you so much. And yeah, you guys represent all of Louisiana for me because I'm not here for much longer. And so I'm so grateful to each and every one of you. As a result, thank you very much.
Monica, thank you for being here.